back to the Catnip Podcast. My name is Grace, and today is Monday, May 1st. It is the month of May. This is a podcast about knitting, books, baking, and cats, but most importantly knitting, because that is what I love to do all day, every day. I have various social medias that you can follow me on. I have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Ravelry. I'm most active on Instagram, so please go follow me over on there. I also have show notes, so links to things that I will be talking about will be in my show notes. Those can be found on my blog. If I happen to forget anything, or if there's just something that you have a question about, feel free to send me a message on Instagram. I would love to say hi and get you the information, because there's a good chance that I may forget some things. I also work at a yarn store. It is called Pearly Girls. It is in Spring, Texas, and I will leave all the various online store social media information so you can check us out either online or in person or both. I am also a knitting pattern tech editor. So if you know someone who is in need of a knitting pattern tech editor, I would love to work with you. You can find out all my information, all my rates, all that jazz under the Graceful Edits tab on my blog, or you can send me a message on Instagram and I would love to get the conversation started with you. We have a long intro. We have things to talk about. I am back in front of the yarn wall, which is very nice and exciting, and we have a lot to talk about. And yes, so without further ado, I have stuck with water today to remain hydrated, because hydration is important, as we all know and sometimes forget. Anyway, if you would like to grab something tasty to drink, something to snack upon, something to craft upon, animal snuggle, laundry to fold, whatever it may be, I hope it's bringing you joy, or I can help you get through a task that is not as pleasant. I have so much laundry to fold, and we're getting ready to go on a trip, and so I need to do all the laundry now in preparation, which I normally do laundry on Mondays anyway, so it's nothing new, but still a lot of laundry. You can do all those things and none of those things, whatever brings you joy, and you come back and join me for some crafty chat. Okay, so hello everyone. We have so much to talk about. I have some finished objects. I have, notice I said some. We have multiple. We have new casted on items, cast-ons. I don't know, but I have a couple of them. I think. No, I just have one. Never mind, I take that back. So when you see this, when this goes up, we will be traveling to see my parents in Colorado. I'm so excited to see them. And we will be there. We will be going to Maker and Stitch. I'm so excited. I have 2 finished objects, and consequently, because I've got 2 finished objects, I feel like I don't really have a ton of other things to talk about. Really? I could be wrong, but yes. So we will just go along with it and be happy with what we have. But I did finish 2 things, and one of them was a highly spontaneous cast on. But I did finish my green cardigan, my Linden Cardigan by Melody of Bee Mandarins on Instagram. I am so in love with this cardigan. It is literally so snuggly. I love it. I did do a tubular bind off on the sleeves. The construction was fascinating once you get to the neckline and how you do that with maintaining the neckband and not having to go back and do it in the end. It was truly fascinating. I learned things. I was reading the instructions and I was like, I have no clue what is going on, and I can't even begin to like understand to trust the pattern and understand what is going on. So thankfully, all the patterns are available, I think, through Melody's Patreon, and she's got videos that go along with all of her patterns and any kind of special techniques that you may use. And so I got to watch those videos, learned some things, did some interesting fun techniques, and yeah, I was just like, wow, I did not think this was going to really work, and I didn't really know or understand how or why, but it did, and I'm not complaining. I got these buttons from Pearly Girls, and I love them so much. Watch me show them off in a very weird and not very clear way. They're kind of like almost iridescent a little bit. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm not doing a very good job with this. And they're kind of like a blue-green. And they're very lightweight, which is what I was looking for, because since this is the Fiber Company Erin Moore Light, it's like a silk cashmere merino blend, I believe. And because of that, it is a little, it's on the lighter side. It's very drapey. I love the drape that it has. It is perfect for here. It's definitely going to be one of those ones that I can wear during the summertime in cold buildings. Not outside, but in cold locations during the summer and not get too hot. But because of that, I wanted to make sure that the buttons were not too heavy, and these are not too heavy, so it worked out perfectly. I only did 4. I did have 5 buttonholes, and it was just going to be too high up on my neck, and it's already pretty high. Even though it's a V-neck cardigan, I think that had to do with the shaping and the size that I picked, which is totally fine. I do not mind. I'm very happy with it. But because the 5th buttonhole was going to be up like here, and I didn't want to close, I probably wouldn't have ever closed that, and I thought the button up there would look kind of weird too. I just closed up the 5th buttonhole and just have 4 buttons. So I'm so happy with it. I loved knitting this. Yeah, the Linden Cardigan by Melody of Bee Mandarins. I got this yarn from Maker and Stitch. I did need an extra skein, which I did order immediately after recording last time. And it's a slightly different dye lot, which is nobody's fault. But I didn't even notice it until, like, I was casting off the second sleeve. And I was like, oh no. You cannot tell. You cannot tell. I say it's a different dye lot. You would probably only notice if you were looking for it. So it is what it is. We have sleeve 1 or sleeve 2, and we've got sleeve 1. And so sleeve 2 is the different dye lot. You can see it's like slightly more vibrant, and it really, like, again, you can't tell. You would only know if you were looking for it. So it does not bother me. I honestly forget about it most of the time that I wear it. So it's all okay. It's all good. Excuse me. So that is finished object number 1. Finished object number 2 is very special and is a secret. So, and a gift. So, my mom, if you're watching this, which I don't think you'll be watching this before you get this, but if you happen to, for whatever reason, end up watching this in a very brief amount of time before we show up at your airport, don't watch this, because this is your Mother's Day gift, and I'm so excited to give it to you. I'm so happy with how it turned out. But anyway, don't watch this because it will ruin the surprise. But I was watching we'll tell the story after I show this to you all. Mama, do not look. Skip ahead, please. If you have not already received this item, if you've already received it, now you can listen to things that I probably already told you. But I also cannot remember what this is called. The way something. I have my computer down here, I apologize. The Wayworth. I always think it's Wayward, and it's not. It's Wayworth by Isabella Clarke. She is the host of the 100 Acres Wool podcast, which I have been enjoying recently. So I was watching it recently, and multiple neighbors are having construction done on their house. We have an addition being added on and a roof being put on today. So if you hear hammering, I apologize. So I was thinking that Mother's Day is coming up, and since we're going to be with my parents, it would be really easy for me to just like make something and bring it to my mom for Mother's Day early, since we weren't going to be with them on Mother's Day. And so I was like, I could do something like a shifty cowl, I think it's just the shift cowl, and go stash diving and use some fun stuff. I have a bunch of hand spun that I could use. I've got Noro, obviously, it would be a fun option. And Bella showed her Wayworth cowl, and I was like, oh, this is what I'm doing. I don't even have to think twice about it. We will go to the stash and find yarn immediately. So I did, and knit it up in about a week, and here it is. So it is similar to the shift cowl in that you make it kind of asymmetrically and then you seam up the back. It is all mosaic knitting, so that is very fun. And then you've got these like wrapped stitches. They're very easy to do. It's very straightforward. I will say that this is probably not the best pattern for beginning mosaic knitters, or if you are just a beginning knitter in general. There are quite a few charts that you have to keep track of. It's very well written though, so it's not a problem. It definitely was a brain teaser for me though, and I really, really enjoyed the process of making it. So I'm very excited to give this to my mom. And yeah, because yeah, I had this crazy Zauber ball in my stash that was all these like blues and dark navies and some grays, and then I actually used half of a skein, or not, probably not half a skein. I honestly don't know how much it was. Some yarn that I had left over from the test knit that I did for Thea Coleman earlier this year, late last year. But I had also gotten it from Maker and Stitch. It's Harrisville Designs Daylights. And so it's like, it's very woolly, and it's got kind of like a pinky cast to it. You probably will not be able to see, but the white is kind of got like some pinky undertones to it. There are I-cord edges along all the various edges except for the one that you seam in the back, which I'm very happy with my seam, if I do say so myself. And there's an I-cord edge around the neck as well. So yeah, that was super spontaneous, and like I said, I finished it within a week because I wanted to make sure that I got it done, because it would not be a good thing to fly with and work on a plane, I don't think. I really had to focus on it sometimes, which was great. I really enjoyed it. It was a good exercise for my brain. And yeah, so I actually have some other Zauber balls that I really love that I have been saving for another project and have actually started, but I may actually frog it and make one of these for myself because I really enjoyed making this, and it's such a stunning pattern. Like, it's just so beautiful. It's hard to fully capture the amazingness, but you know. But yeah, so this is the Wayworth Cowl by Isabella Clarke. It's mosaic knitting. I haven't actually done a ton of mosaic knitting, but I always enjoy it when I do. And I do have the Pressed Flowers cardigan coming up that I do want to do. I have yet to cast it on, but it's all slip stitches mosaic knitting, and I'm very excited. So those are the 2 finished objects that I have for this week. And yeah, so I am bringing both of those with me and coming back with only one of them because I'm so excited to give that to my mom. I'm very excited. So what else have I been working on? I've been working on, this has been probably what I've worked on the least, except for maybe my bubble cardigan. I honestly don't remember if I worked on my bubble cardigan at all since recording, but I did bring it over here to maybe look and see if I had moved my progress keeper at all. Fingers crossed I did. If not, we may just talk about it randomly. But this is my Anne of Green Gables advent calendar from Ash and Bumble. And I am holding the yarn double with a strand of Stellaris, giving it a sparkle, a little sparkle. And I am doing a Perfectionist Trap by Casey of Casey Knits, and I have made a little progress, not as much as last time. Where is my progress keeper? There it is. So this is where I was last week, or last time. And I've done that much. So I have started on the last like set of 4. I'm currently holding 2 strands of this orange color, which I do believe was called the Carrots, which is obviously very fitting for Anne of Green Gables. And yes, so I am loving this. It is such a nice mindless project. I may bring this with me on the trip because it is so easy and very mindless. I should probably downsize this bag. It has been wonderful having everything because I had 12 minis in here plus the shawl. So it's really wonderful having this wonderful bag, which is from it was Rose and Seams. It is now Rose and Seams. Elena of Rose and Seams. Her bags, I have quite a few of them at this point, and they're wonderful, very well made, and yes, but for traveling purposes, trying to not overpack knitting, which if I'm gonna overpack anything, it's going to be knitting and maybe socks. Also earrings. I overpack earrings. Do you do that? Like, I always overpack earrings and I'm like, I could wear all these pairs of earrings and I just need to be prepared, and then I only end up wearing like 1 pair or something like that. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous because it's like, it's one of those things that you don't really need. I mean, you kind of need. I love wearing earrings. I say that, I don't have any in right now. Or any fun ones anyway, I should say. But I feel like there are certain things that people always overpack, and it's different from person to person. But knitting, guys, like, we can't not have knitting. And I understand that I'm going to a place that does have a yarn store that we will be going to for certain. And we will be getting yarn there for certain. I don't know for what, but for something. So it's not like I'm at a loss. I will not have access. My mom has yarn. My mom has needles if I needed it. needed them. It will be okay. I will be bringing for sure my pink velvet, which I will be talking about in a hot second. And I need to figure out what else. But I really I would like to bring this because then I could potentially finish it. Because it is almost done. And then I could block it while I was there. It's definitely doable, people. It's definitely doable. I should. I'm not finishing it before we go. That's too much stress. I've got too much going on. Too much. If you could see the mountain of laundry on the bed, you would understand. There are just other things that I want to work on right now that I can't bring, shouldn't bring, like my bubble cardigan, or other things that have a ton of balls of yarn involved, or I don't know, complicated patterns, you know. Oh, I did get yarn for something, but we'll talk about that again in a hot second. Because it's hot, so all seconds are hot. Haha. Oh my goodness, it's getting to that weird transitional time where it's like chilly in the morning and it's like sweltering in the afternoon. So dressing is complicated, and you have to be prepared to be cold in the morning and then obviously like sweating profusely in the afternoon, and it's not even that bad yet. It will get worse. So you may think I'm joking that all seconds are hot now because it's hot, but I'm not joking. It is not a joke. This is not a drill. So let's just continue to talk about knitting, shall we? That is what this is about. Let's take a look at my bubble cardigan. Have I worked on this at all? I have just a little bit. I've done one stripe. That's something. That is something. I finished 2 things, and one of them wasn't even cast on last time we chatted. So it wasn't even in my outlook horizon of knitting. So, yes, this is my bubble cardigan. This is a wonderfully stripy, bubbly cardigan by Stephen West. I'm using mostly Suburban Stitcher yarns and a couple of yarns from Heathered Handmaids. This was my birthday cast on back in February. And I am just having a wonderful time. And yeah, I only knit 1 stripe in the past 2 weeks. But I have been working on other things. So that's good. That is fun. It's all okay. And I have too many balls of yarn to carry around. They're all living in my knitter's backpack because there's just so many of them. And I like to have things spread out when I work on this, and it is not conducive for a plane ride at all. It would just make me frustrated. It would not be a good time. So, yes, we're not going to talk about it too long because, like I said, I only did a stripe. But I did do 1 stripe, so there's something. I may work on that this evening. Maybe. Possibly. Next up, they were the new roof, the new roof process of our neighbors started very, very early this morning. And granted, you can't really hear it too much in the bedroom, which is way over there. But it was still very early, and I understand because it gets so hot, but it's still very early, and first world problems, you know, first world problems. This is a test knit that I am doing for Tiff Nealon, and I'm almost done. I really wanted to have this done today. I wanted to have it done so I could show you another finished object, but I did not make it happen. So in addition to the other 2 projects that I have finished, I have made insane progress on this sweater, which you will see because I have my progress keeper in from where I left off last time we chatted. This is the mullet over pullover, and I have my progress keeper right there. So as you can see, I hadn't even finished the body. And I finished the body and one sleeve, and I am working on the ribbing of the second sleeve. So I've done so much, so much. This is a DK weight pullover. It's super straightforward, would be perfect for a first sweater, like would be amazing. If you are wanting a top-down yoke pullover, it is written for 2 strands of fingering, both either to be the same color or 2 different colors, or you could go the route that I have gone, and I have 1 consistent strand throughout, and I have a bucket full of colors to pull from, to kind of stripe as I go and play around with color, which I have absolutely loved doing. It has been so much fun. I am so happy with how it's turned out. The sleeves don't match. I don't care. They don't match the body either. Again, I don't care. We've got some eyelet action up at the top, and then again around the sleeve. We have 2 color fisherman's rib around the sleeve, and there will also be some around the neckline as well. So like I said, I have this little bit left, and then I have my neckline, and then this is getting done tonight. This will get done tonight because it needs to block tomorrow, because I have packed a wet sweater before and I do not want to do it again. I say it was wet. It wasn't wet, but it was damp, and don't like doing that. I put it in like a grocery bag and it was all crumpled up, and I don't like doing that. So we have to have, with how humid it is, and it is a heavier sweater, my blocking system works very well because we have very high ceilings, which is wonderful, and we have a wonderful fan from the high ceiling, and so I can put the item that is blocking on my blocking drying rack thing directly under the fan, or relatively under the fan, and it does dry pretty quickly, all things considered. By Houston standards, by Houston humidity standards, it dries quickly. And I really want to make sure that I don't pack a damp sweater again. So that is why this is getting done tonight. And so I can block it and it can dry overnight and tomorrow, ready for us to go on Wednesday. So I can wear it and take pictures in the potential beautiful weather. Not snow. Has been snowing. Probably won't snow when we're there. If it does, I will not be crushed because it's snow. And I love snow. Anyway, this fisherman's rib, 2-color fisherman's rib, is another way to accomplish the same look and feel of brioche, 2-color brioche. So if you are not a fan of brioche but want to achieve that look, 2-color fisherman's rib is what you need to do. Quite an interesting process. I personally think if I were to pick between the two, if I had to choose one, I would honestly pick brioche. I'm sorry. For me, it's easier for me to actually do the knitting process of that opposed to the fisherman's rib. But again, if you don't like doing one of them, you can do the other one. It accomplishes the same thing. It's great. Super squishy, and yes, so very fun time. You can see the 2-coloredness there. Honestly, I could flip this up and that would be pretty cute too. Oh, looks very nice. It fits perfectly. I actually I think I sized down I love positive ease. Almost everything I make has positive ease. I just like to be comfy. To each their own, but I love to be able to move and be comfy. That's comfy for me. And in the amount of positive ease that was available, I went for the sizes that I was looking at. I went with the smaller amount of positive ease. So, and I'm so happy that I did, because I think if I had done too much, I think that would have been way too much and it would not have ended up how I wanted it to look. This is what I was going for, which again is the best feeling when you have something in your mind and you accomplish it, and it is so happy. Love it. My main color that I've held with throughout the whole thing is this wonderful yarn, which I am a huge fan of. This is Barocco Lena's Light. It is technically labeled as a sport weight, but I would argue that it is a fingering weight. You play around with your gauge. They're all guidelines anyway. And I have used an assortment of bits and pieces. I have Madeline Tosh, I've got Hugh Loco, I've got Heathered Handmaids, I've got Farmer's Daughters Fibers, I've got Blue Mule Fiber Company, Blue Mule Yarn. I've got Stranded Dyeworks. This has been my favorite to work with, just because I love this contrast and it knits up so nicely. What is this? Suburban Stitcher. I've got some of my own in here. I've got some Knitting for Olive in here. I've got Ching. I've got Lavender Loon from my advent calendar 2 years ago. I've got, I'm so sad that this is almost gone. This has been in so many projects and I love this yarn so much. This is Ross of, oh my goodness, what is his, I'm blanking on his yarn name. I'm so sorry, Ross. Twisted Ambitions yarn. I got this from Loop in Tulsa, which is now the like flagship headquarters, which is super awesome. And that was in my birthday cast on like 3 years ago, pre-pandemic. Which is shocking. And I made the Free Your Fade, which with 3 of Ross's colors, and this was the middle one. And I love it. I love it. It's like the perfect rosy neutral with a bunch of like fun speckles. And I'm so sad that it's almost done. I'm so sad. Ugh. But I'm glad that it's in this project. It's just like such a nice, I don't know, it's just such a nice, this is that right there, that little bit. It's just fun. It's just very fun. Good way to use up stash. So yes. I believe the deadline for this is the 16th. It got extended. But mine is going to be done, obviously. Like I said, I'm finishing it tonight so I can block it so I can wear it and not pack a damp sweater. It will not be damp. It will be dry. It will be dry. I will probably not be wearing it while traveling because that may be too hot on this side when we're still in Houston. So my last work in progress, which is super exciting and also is a new cast on. You all have not seen this, but if you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen a picture. This is a knit along that I'm doing with 2 friends, and one of the friends dyed this yarn, some of this yarn, and technically I'm friends with both people who dyed both these yarns, but I'm knitting along with one of the people who died this glorious skein of Surrey. Can we even, like, it's just so pretty. It's so pretty! She dyed that up. And then my main color is this color from Suburban Stitcher, Diane. So, 2 friends, love this. It is wonderful. I cannot even. So we are knitting the pink velvet, and it's not going to show up very well because it's too light in here. But like, oh my goodness gracious, can we even? I'm going to save that hot pink for something else from Mace of Skeins, because that was what I was also thinking about using for the pink velvet. I love that yarn so much. And it will be glorious in whatever it is. This is what I had in mind. Again, this mental image of my pink velvet whenever I was going to make it was going to be this. And I saw this skein that Andrea dyed up, and I was like, oh. And we had this blue at the shop, and I was like, it's happening! It's happening! So it's happening, and I am so happy with how it's turned out. I am so behind. They have already divided for the sleeves, and I am not even close to being done with the colorwork chart, but this is coming with me. And yes, but again, everyone, I finished 2 things. One of them wasn't even a thing a little bit over a week ago, and then I'm almost done with the Mullet Over Pullover, which is a test knit, so I do need to get that done. But it's my only test knit, my needles right now, so there's also that. This is Pink Velvet by Andrea Mowry. This is one of her older patterns. It's just a colorwork yoked pattern sweater, and you use Surrey for your contrasting color, 1 strand of Surrey, and then fingering weight for the rest of it. I'm so excited. This is just perfect. I also just recently got a new Little Bitty Delights Progress Keeper. If you are new here, I am quite a fan of Amanda, and just her as a person. She's wonderful, and just the little cute things she creates. This was actually in collaboration, I believe, with Elena of Rose and Seams. I did think they did like a bag and stitch marker collaboration. I did not get the bag, but I did get the stitch marker. And it's got like a little sparkly macaron on the little plate, and it's just so cute and precious. I love it. So that's very nice. I love it so much. I am more than halfway with the colorwork chart, which is nice. And so I'm gonna make as much progress as I can. And it may be tricky to do on the plane. I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see. I oftentimes, sometimes more recently, get a little motion sick on planes, and so sometimes I have to be really careful about what I do and what I don't do on planes, and reading a colorwork chart may not be the best idea for me, but we need to evaluate. I don't think, is it possible for me to get through the colorwork chart and the sleeve divide? Oh, I could probably do that. Before we leave. I have today and tomorrow. I don't know. I really don't know. It's a busy time. It's a busy time. There's just a lot going on. I have so much laundry to fold. What are you busy with? Laundry. Just one word. One answer, it's laundry. It's never ending, and there's only 2 of us. And it seems to never end, and there's always so much laundry to do. I don't like doing laundry. I'd rather do dishes all day, every day. Give me the dishes. Anyway, Pink Velvet. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. They also, we knit the diaphanous raglan together, and so I think we're going to be getting it together sometime soon. and wearing our diaphanoses together, which is very exciting. But we have moved on to the pink velvet, and it is all very fun. And yes, so hopefully, surely, by the next time you see this pink velvet, I will have significantly gotten past the sleeve divide. Surely. That's my plan. So I do have some yarn acquisitions that I'm going to talk about really quick. And then I think that might be it. But let's talk about some yarn first. I say let's talk about some yarn first, like we haven't been talking about yarn for the past 40 minutes, but we did take a little break and I did talk about the weather and the laundry, but mostly yarn. Anyway, so I have had these two patterns in my queue for forever. Last summer, I made it my goal to knit more summery tops, and this year is no different. I have so many woolly items, and I can't wear them at all during the summer, and I need more summery tops. And so, I will be making the outline tee and the outline tank by Jessame, and she did the diaphanous raglan and so many other amazing patterns, if that name sounds familiar. They are both fingering weight. I will be using this Circulo Anne, which is fingering weight, and it is 100% mercerized Brazilian virgin cotton. And these skeins are incredible because they are 547 yards each. Amazing. So this will be the tee, and this will be the tank, and I'm so excited, and I think it'll be wonderful. I may cast this on for the trip. I honestly don't know. I may not. Again, I need to evaluate, because this would be literally just knitting in the round. It would be very easy and straightforward and might be a nice travel project, but I also have my perfectionist trap. I could bring some socks and finish the many pairs of seasonal socks that I have going. My Christmas pair and my Halloween pair. So they do need to get finished. I will be so ready to go for this coming Halloween and this coming Christmas. I'll have some socks ready to go, because I couldn't get them done when I wanted to last year. But that's okay. I'll be prepared for this year. So yes, I'm very excited about this. If you are unfamiliar with either of these patterns, obviously they will be linked in the show notes. Yes. So I need to not touch this to my face too much, otherwise I will probably get my lipstick on it, and that will not be good. Or this, but it'll specifically show up on this. It's such a nice, like, creamy white. It's not a white, and it's not like a cream. It's like kind of a nice natural white. You can see, obviously, compared to the ball band, which is nice. But I thought this would be good for the summer, and I thought this was just kind of a nice summery, springy, fun color for a tank top. I am very fair-skinned. I'm very pale, and don't often tan very well. I most likely burn, and mainly burn. Sometimes I can get a nice tan if I am lucky. Have a nice summery glow about me. But either way, I picked this color because I thought this would look nice with a tan, without a tan, with a burn. I wear so much sunscreen. Don't get me wrong. I wear a lot of sunscreen. I still burn. So. Or I burn rather than I tan. But anyway, either way, I'm still wearing sunscreen. My point being, I thought this was a nice color. I thought this would be fun to have. I thought it went nice with my skin tone. There's also like a lilac-y purple that we had that I thought was pretty, but I thought the blue would be really fun. So, and it looks so nice with this lip color. I think so. It looks very nice. Okay. So, I don't know if that's being casted on. It may not. But that was all the yarn and knitting and things that I have to share with you all. We've had a lot of things to discuss. Finished objects. Future casts on. Future finished objects. New casts on. Test knits. All the things. I have yarn sticking to my leg. Either way, I need to go fold some laundry and transfer over a load of laundry and make the mountain even bigger. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. I have all the various social medias, I have show notes, I have yarn store information, I have tech editing information, all the various places. If you have any questions or would just like to say hello, hi, hello, whatever it may be, and you can do that, you can send me a message on Instagram. I hope you've had a wonderful past couple of weeks. I hope you continue to have wonderful next coming weeks. If you have crafty plans, I hope that they are so successful. Are you knitting any summery tops if it is summer where you are, or if it's winter where you are, or getting ready to become winter? Enjoy your woolies if you are wearing them. But are you getting ready to do any summery items? And if so, what are you wanting to do? What are you planning? What are your plans? Tell me so I can be inspired. Just want to cast on all the things right now. I want to do all the things and I don't have the time. Or the project bags. Or the needles. It's okay. I have so many project bags. That's not true. I have so many project bags and just random tote bags that I've collected over the years. It's the needles really that holds me up. And I have done pretty well with like not buying needles if I need to cast something on and all my other needles are taken. I have done a pretty good job with that, if I do say so myself. I'm not perfect, but for the most part, I'm pretty good at it, and that is probably the thing that holds me back the most. Yeah. Fun fact. Now you know. I don't know why I thought it was important to tell you that information, but now you know. I know some people have a set amount of project bags, and so when all of them are full, when all the project bags are filled, that's as many projects as they have going at once. And I think that's awesome. That works for them. And my needles happen to work pretty well for me, so feeling pretty good about that. I don't really have any languishing lips going right now. I need to work on that. I need to figure that out. We need to assess. But now is not the time, because now is the time to go fold the mountain of laundry. I'm procrastinating. If you couldn't tell, I'm procrastinating going and folding the laundry. Anyway, I must go. I will draw this out too much, and that will be weird, and I'll just start talking about random things. Thank you for hanging out with me. I really appreciate every single one of you coming back every 2 weeks to chat, hang out, leave a comment, subscribe, like the video, whatever it may be. I really appreciate it. It is very helpful to me and to the various algorithms that are out there. Who knows what progress I will have to show you next time we chat. I'm hoping it will be a lot. I am hoping. Fingers crossed. I am planning to be productive. And if I'm not productive, that's also okay. Because resting and not pressuring myself to get things done, if it's too stressful, is just as important as being productive. Rest is also productive. What's also productive is folding a mountain of laundry. I must go. Okay. Thank you for being here. You are wonderful. You are enough. And I will see you all next time. Bye.